What is up, people? Craig Lopez back once again with another tutorialism, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the channel. So rather than do one of my regular tutorials or a plugin review, what I'm going to do is a first impressions video, and the thing that I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of is this, the Circuit Tracks by Novation. Now, what I wanted to do, or what I have been doing this afternoon, is making a beat on it. And I did all that without reading the instructions and without watching any tutorials, because I just wanted to find out how easy and how intuitive this thing is for a first-time user. So with that in mind, what I'm about to show you, there is no way that I'm getting 100% out of this machine. So while we get to the obligatory unboxing footage, what I'm going to do is play through some of the preset projects that come preloaded within Circuit Tracks so you guys can hear exactly what this thing is capable of. So let's get into it. So in terms of build quality, it's made of very sturdy plastic. It feels like it could be thrown in the back of a backpack quite a few times without it breaking or getting any scratches on it. The rotary controls are a nice feeling rubber. The pads are quite small, but they are quite tactile. They're not as bad as the ones on the Ableton Push, but they're not as good as the ones on the machine. The function buttons have got a nice little click to them. It does run off an internal battery, which I've had running for a few hours now. And if I turn it on, you should be able to see got about half the battery left, and that's after about 3 hours worth of use. So yeah, really impressed by what it is. It's very small, it's very light, and yeah, it's a cool little package. So in terms of I/O, we have 2 external audio inputs, headphone jack, 2/4 inch jack outs, the sync, we have 5-pin MIDI in, out and through, a micro SD slot, which I believe you can use to save projects and to load in your own samples into the drum machines. The USB-C port, which is used for powering and for charging the inbuilt battery. And we have a soft on-off switch. Okay, so to get to the pre-installed projects, hit on the projects button, and the top 2 rows contain all of the projects. So to select one, just select the button and press play. Get to the next one, to select the next button. So you can dive into these projects and edit them as you please. But what I'm going to do is start off with a blank project. So to do that, I'm going to go back to project, and the bottom 2 rows are blank projects. So I'm just going to select one and go back to note. So what we basically have here in Circuit Tracks is an 8-track sequencer. So we have 2 synths, synth 1, synth 2. We have 2 MIDI outputs, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drum tracks. So let's start off with a drum track. I'm going to hit drum 1, and on the bottom 2 rows we have our drum sounds. And if I hit the down button, we get another 2 rows. So I'm just going to program in a typical 4 to the floor beat. So I'll select the kick drum and select the notes that I want to play. We can change the tempo by hitting the tempo button, and you can see we have a display of 120 there. So if I move the dial, we can speed that up, slow it down, and we can adjust the swing amount, which of course we can't hear right now because I've only got a 4 to the floor kick, but it's there if we need it. Okay, so we have 8 rotary controls, 1 master volume and 1 master filter. So by playing about with these, I can change the texture of the kick drum. And just shape it to how I want it. So next I'm going to hit drum 2 and select the snare. Let's adjust that kick drum a bit, tighten it up. I'm going to go to drum 3, get an open hi-hat. And let's go to drum 4. And let's try and record something in. And let's go back to the swing. Let's try the master filter. Nice. So let's have a look at the synths. So along the top 2 rows we have our sequencer, and at the bottom we have our notes. Click on a note expand, gives us 4 octaves. Again, all the rotary controllers can manipulate the sound. And we can change the presets by clicking on the preset button. And press the down arrow to go through more presets. So I'm just going to go with this first one. Take note expand off. And I'm going to go to scales, and Along the bottom here, we can choose between different scales. I'm not sure which is which. The first one's obviously chromatic. I guess the next one is major or minor, so on and so forth. So let's just go for one randomly here. Go for the third one. And at the top, we can choose the root note of the scale that we're in. So let's go with that. Right now we just have a 1-bar loop. We can change it to be 2 bars by clicking on this button here. And you can see that the button changes color depending on which part of the 2 bars the playhead is at. So let's record something in. And then a mixer, we can just use these rotary controls to control the volume of each channel. So let me pull down synth 1, drum 2, drum 3, and drum 4. Let's get a quick mix. So let's try synth 2. Go to the presets. Let's record that in. So yeah, after a little afternoon of playing about with it, that's where I'm at. Of course, I haven't got into all the minutiae of how to arrange patterns, but going through the demo projects, that's obviously possible. But for me, I've had fun. So I would use it for times when can't really be bothered to come into the studio, turn everything on, make sure everything's working. Just want to sit on the couch while the wife is watching some rubbish TV show. I can just jam out a few little ideas, press save, bring it into the studio later, and I've got a basis for a track to start working on. So yeah, for me, it's really good for that. I'd also say it'd be quite good if you've got young kids maybe who want to get into music production, but you don't want to be spending hundreds and thousands on computers and software. Maybe get them circuit tracks, see how much they're into it, see how much they vibe off it, and then you could take it further from there if they're into it. Other people it might be good for if you're like do a lot of commuting. It'd be really good to just pull out on the train. Like I say, it's battery powered and the charge seems to last quite a while, so you could just pull it out on the train on the way to work, jam out a few ideas. Jobs are good. And but anyway, that's my first impression of the Circuit Tracks by Novation. I just want to give a big shout out to my Patreons for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved in supporting the channel, click on the link below, visit my Patreon page, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of thing. You know the score by now. But anyway, I've been Craig Lopez. This has been Tutorialism. Now go make some music. Peace.